Welcome back, folks. And now Leandro Camacho is an expert on G Suite, and Leandro Camacho is coming to stage.
Hey, how are you? Do you listen to me?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, great. Okay, so you're watching
Okay,
my. There
for
it is.
presentation. And now stage is yours. Okay, you ready?
O- Okay, ready. So thank you everyone for having me here. Actually, I'm in Istanbul. Uh, all the things that we've been passing through, so we couldn't have the regular event at Kutaya, but I'm glad we still have the event for this online session. So thank you for everybody to having us here. And yeah, today is a really important date because we're gonna talk about how we can empower more women getting into technologies, specifically into artificial intelligence through the Google Assistant. So it's gonna be really interesting. I hope the team can help me sharing with all of you the URLs and the links for the my slides and the step by step of a Medium article that we published, so you can later can keep on learning about this interesting technology. So I'm really glad to start. Okay, so just a little bit of information about the agenda of the workshop. We're gonna have an introduction for the Google Assistant workshop. We're gonna have an actions on Google and natural language processing techniques, and later we are gonna build an action for your women communities. So it's gonna be like a really interesting day. So let me first introduce myself. My name is Leandro Camacho. I'm from Costa Rica. I'm based in Brazil, and these are my social networks that you can find me at Medium, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. So we can keep in touch about this cool workshop and any other question that you may have during your process. Okay. So first of all, we need to learn two big difference that of these technologies. So the first one is that the Google Assistant is the virtual agent that enables you to get things done. So for example, if you want to ask for some directions or for some restaurant or for some information about the weather, about the stocks, so any other information, you talk to the Google Assistant. But for building actions to the assistant, you use a library that it's called Actions on Google. So the Actions on Google is the library that helps you create experiences that runs on the Google Assistant. So this is our two important difference that you should have in your mind. So just to be clear, okay? Uh, Also, the really important part about this new technology is that the Google Assistant can help you create actions for 1 billion devices. So which devices we have? You can build actions for smartphones, for the Google Home, for the Google Home Mini, for smart speakers, but also for your car, for your smartwatch, for multiple intelligent devices. So this is like a game changer because now we're gonna see more and more that we're gonna interact directly with the devices, not just with the smartphones, but you can talk with your car, you can talk with your house, you can talk with multiple devices across your daily life. So it's a really huge technology, a really important technology that we're gonna keep seeing it's evolve. So it's really nice that you can start learning more about this technology, the voice interfaces, and mainly the natural language processing, because this will help you to build more natural conversations between the objects and the users. So it's really cool. And also a really good part of this technology is that we have a support for more than 30 languages in 80 countries. In this moment, I don't see the Turkish flag, but it's already able. It's already available for the Turkish language. So we later in in this workshop we're gonna see like how you can create your actions for the Turkish language. So it's really good that we keep in mind that we have more than 30 languages in 80 countries. Okay, so let's start. For this, we wrote an article for the Google Developer Expert Medium. So in my slides, if you click here, it's gonna redirect you to the article that is a step-by-step process that you can follow so you can have your action done. So this is a special edition for the Turkish International Women Day. So you can have access to this article. And it's really uh, cool because we made a demo. So let's start. Okay. So the first step for this workshop is going to be that we need to go to the GitHub repo that we made for the International Women Day in Turkey. So we're gonna click here, and he's gonna redirect us to the GitHub repo about the Google Assistant the action for the Google Assistant that we made for this edition. So the first thing that we're gonna do today is to download the project. So we're gonna go to the zip file. We're gonna come here and we're gonna download the project. So we're gonna download the zip file that contains all the training for our action. So once you have it here, you can put it in your desktop. Okay, so let me go back. Okay, no, here it is. Okay, so we already download the file. The next step that we need to follow is to go to Dialogflow. So first, before we get to the Dialogflow part, it's important that we get some intro about what is this technology about. So Dialogflow is the natural language processing tool of Google that helps you understand what users are trying to say or what users are trying to do or type in your applications. So in this interface, we're gonna have intents that are the way user try to talk with your agent, and the entities are the text classification that will help you understand what users are trying to do. Okay, so for example, if a user say I want to find an AI startup meetup or connect me with a data science mentor, we can classify this text through Dialogflow through these entities. So in the workshop, we're gonna learn more about how we can make these classifications about the text and about the conversation. So it's really interesting because we can create really cool things. Okay, so the second step we already made it. That is download the zip file for the project. So now we can go to Dialogflow. Okay, so in my case, I already have opened the Dialogflow console. But if you want to, is your first time using this tool, you can create a new project here. We can make this step. So I'm gonna call Izmir Tech Guide. Okay, so this is the name of the project. Here you can see that you can choose the default language. In our case for today, we're gonna use the English version, but you can also look English version. So you can start it in Turkish. For this example, we're gonna use the English version, and yeah, okay. So we're gonna create the project, and he's gonna connect with the Google, with the GCP project. He's gonna create it by itself, so it's already connect with your Google Cloud platform. And once you create your project, we're gonna use okay, so we already created the project, and as you can see, it comes with two intents. The welcome intent is the welcoming message for everyone. So here it comes like all the conversations about hi, hello, hi there, and a few examples about how you can reply your user, like how you're doing, have a good day, or how can I assist you. Okay, this is the welcome message, and it comes also by default the fallback intent. This fallback intent every time the model doesn't, or your agent doesn't understand what the user say, it will come back to the fallback intent. So for example, it had phrases like I didn't get, can you repeat it, I miss it, sorry, can you say that again. I highly recommend you, for a more natural conversation, that you change all these phrases. For example, we're gonna see that we train our meetups in workshops, on mentors. So for example, we can say like, I didn't get that. Remember that I was trained on finding meetups in Istanbul or in Turkey or in Kutaya or any of these places, so you can have a more natural conversation. Okay, so this is a quick explanation about the intent. Now we can go to the configuration of the project, so we can upload the repo that we just download from the GitHub. So we're gonna come to the export and import configuration, and we're gonna restore the project. Okay, so we're gonna select the file that we just downloaded, that it's called Izmir the Tech Guide. Here is the zip file, and you're gonna type the word restore. Okay, so we're gonna restore the project in Dialogflow with the version that we have made in GitHub. And as you can see, the agent, it says like it uploaded in a good way. So if you come here, now you're gonna see that it has a description. So it's the International Women Day Turkey 2020 workshop for empowering women through Google Assistant and natural language models at the Women Tech Maker and GDG Kutaya, and for the Women Tech Maker and GDG in Ankara. Okay, so if we come here now to the intents, you're gonna see that we already trained the model with meetups related to culinary, meetups related to business, technology, hackathons, workouts. Also, we train the model for mentors and study groups. Okay, so if we come, for example, in the meetup training that we make for the model, if we open this intent, we're gonna find, for example, that the user can say like, hey Google, when is going to be the next hackathon? Or hey Google, ask Ismir for the next tech meetup suggestions. And here we can add more and more phrases. For example, I want to know, I want to know when is going to be the next meetup in Kutaya. Okay, so as you can see over here, he already understand that Kutaya is a city and that meetup is an entity that we train our model that is an important part for our that is an important part for our understanding of the things that we're trying to do in this specific project. Okay, so we can save these training phrases. You can add more than 200 training phrases per each intent. Okay, so as you can see, we can have here actions and parameters that we can ask the user, and we can add a text response. For example, once you catch that the user want to find a meetup, for example, we can replay like, great, I can help you finding meetups about technology, business, or culinary. Pick your favorite one. Okay, so if we want to keep the conversation about meetups, we can add follow-up intents. Okay, we can make a custom follow-up, for example, technology. So if we add a follow-up intent for meetup that is related to technology, is gonna be here. Or if the user say culinary, is gonna be here. Or business meetups, they're gonna be here. So they're different intents and replies depending on what the user is trying to do. So for example, if we go into the meetup about technology, we're gonna find information about okay, I'm looking for a tech meetup in Kutaya. I would like to go to a tech gathering, or when is going to be the next tech meetup in Ankara. All these training phrases, we can have it on this intent, and we can reply. This is a default response, but we can also have dynamic responses through the fulfillment. So we can enable cloud functions, so we can have dynamic responses. For this example, we're going to use the text response. That is going to be great. I find tech meetups in GDG Ankara. In our case, we can put we're gonna find tech meetups in GDG Kutaya, GDG Kutaya, about actions on Google workshop at Kutaya University, for example. Okay, Kutaya University. We can save it, and we wait until our model is trained. So this is like the cool part of the dialog flow, that you can add the training phrases like pretty simple, and your agent is already trained. Okay, we're gonna see also the entities. So for example, the social guide, we train him that social events that the user can find are meetups, that the user can also uh, not directly ask for meetup, but he can ask for events or venues or hangouts. These are synonyms of meetups. So these are also ways that the user can say that he can also catch that the user is trying to find this one. Or study groups, for example, is synonym of technical group, of research, of discussion, of university groups, and many other synonyms that you can add here. You can also add uh, 200 synonyms for each entity. So it's a really robust model that you can train, and that can help the user understand about what they're trying to do. Okay, so this is a really important part of the model, because you can train in different entities. So for example, one entity was the social events that the user want to do, but the other entity is the topic about the events. So for example, the topics could be technology, or business, or culinary, or hackathons. So for example, here you can add more synonyms. Hackathon is synonym about hack. It's also synonym about I don't know, maybe we already have challenge, competition, CodeCon, community challenge. So we can keep the list, 200 synonyms per each entity. So it's a really robust model that can understand the people really well. Okay, so we already see the intents, that it's how the user communicate with your model. We already see the entities, that it's the text classification that help us train the model on which decision tree he could follow. And now we're gonna, well, we can also take a look about the fulfillment, where in this workshop we're not getting into a lot of the fulfillment, but it's really important that you can take a look, because through these cloud functions you can have dynamic responses for your model. So for example, you can enable the, okay, so in this case, I think we need to configure more things for the fulfillment. But now we can go to the integration parts. Okay. So for the integrations, as you can see here, it comes with more than 15 pre-integrations. So it's really good, because you don't need to code a lot to use these integrations. So it comes with integrations, for example, with Google Assistant, with Facebook Messenger, for example, if you want to run a chatbot through Messenger, with Slack, with Twitter, Telegram, Skype, Line, and many other. This is also a really good one, Twilio, because it allows you to create virtual agents for WhatsApp, for example. So you can use the WhatsApp API through Twilio, and you can use this pre-integration. So it's really cool that you can try it later. Okay, but for this workshop, we're gonna use the Google Assistant integration. So we're gonna come to this integration, and we're gonna test our model. Okay, so we're gonna click on the test version of our application, and we're gonna talk with our agent. Okay, we want to wait until uploads the project in the test version of the simulator of actions on Google. So now we're moving from Dialogflow to actions on Google. So here we're gonna try the version of our training. So here we can have the conversation with our agent. And okay, maybe it's a little bit slow, my internet, but yeah, we can try here our agent. So it's really cool, because before you launch your, I'm gonna refresh the test version, so maybe it could help. Hopefully. So here we can talk with our virtual assistant. Okay. Okay, just wait a few seconds. It's not supposed to be that long, but sometimes happen like this. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna close it again. I'm gonna refresh it. And I'm gonna try it here. Okay. Test version. Okay, in case this happened to you, okay, now it goes. Okay. Now he already went to the project. It's uploading. Also, it's important that if sometimes this happen, you can also go directly to console.actions.google.com, and it also works. You can also find your project here. You come here, and you can take a look that here's all your projects that you have. So in case you are waiting too long uh, coming from the Dialogflow version, you can also write directly console.actions on google.com. Okay, so we can have here, okay, so we have the test version of our app. But first, we can, for example, we can rename. This is the name of our project. So we can come here to the overview, and we can change the name of our action. So for example, we can put here the display name. It would be İzmir Tech Guide in Turkey, for example. That's the name of our action that we create. Okay, so it already saved it. So now if we come to the test version of our app, you're gonna see that is not anymore the talk to the test version, but it says now talk to Izmir, the tech guy in Turkey. Okay, so we're gonna click here and start the conversation.
Getting the test version of Izmir Tech Guide in Turkey.
Welcome to Izmir, the Tech Turkey Guide. I can help you finding meetups, study groups, and mentors. Which one are you interested in?
So, for example, you can say that I'm interested in meetups.
Great, I can help you finding meetups about technology, business, or culinary. Pick your favorite.
Okay, so for example, we already take the meetup, right? So he's asking us for the technology, business, or culinary. So for example, if I want to I want to find meetups about technology.
I have found the following technology meetups: GDG Kutaya about actions on Google Workshop at the Kutaya University and the Cloud Next Extended at Istanbul. Are you interested on going?
Okay, so this was a pretty simple example about an action where you can find meetups, study groups, mentors related to topics or related to a city or through a specific place through using your voice. So this is really interesting because you already learned about how you can train a Dialogflow natural language processing model. You also learn about voice interface and the test simulator for actions on Google. And I think, let me go back to the presentation. So we already followed these steps. For the intents, we already see the decision tree that the model can follow. We also learn more about the training phrases that in this case you can change it. You can add more than 2,000 training phrases per each intent. So you can add many more phrases. We also have the entities, the training for our entities. So the different types of entities that you can build to understand your users, to help them get things done through the Google Assistant. We also we don't get too much through the fulfillment, but as you can see here, we can run some cloud functions that maybe later in other workshop we can take a look about the cloud functions that we can run to, for example, have dynamic responses, not a text response that it's one response, but we can have dynamic responses between the different intents that the user can have. Okay. We also take a look about the integrations that the Google Assistant have, and this is like a quick overview about what is happening. So, for example, when the user wants to start the conversation with Smear, he talk through your smartphone or through your smart speaker or any of the 1 billion devices that runs through the Google Assistant. He's gonna process the natural language through the actions in Google Library. And in some cases, if we have dynamic responses, he can goes to the cloud functions and connect with a database, for example, Firebase, and replace your users with the dynamic responses. So the user can say, "Hey Google, talk to Ismir," and he could say like, "Okay, sure. Here is Ismir. Welcome to the tech guide. Are you interested in finding meetups, mentors, study groups? Which one would you like? You choose your topic, and we can keep the conversation." Okay, so it's a really pretty simple way that you can get started in the voice interfaces, into natural language processing. And as you can see, the project that we just upload, it won't take us more than 5 or 10 minutes to upload it. So it's a really quick way that you can get started on these new technologies. Also, I would love to share with you. You already have the link of my presentation, but you can also take a look of all of these resources about actions on Google. You can find a lot of code labs. These are really a good way to get started and to learn more about this technology. You can go to codelabs.developers.google.com. So, for example, if we come here, this is a step-by-step tutorials. You can come here and ask for the category assistant, for example. So as you can see, we can find many different workshops that can take you step by step to building actions or to build a more engaged users with your Google Assistant, or build a smart home local execution, or many other different possibilities. So for example, you can start, I highly recommend you to start with level 1 if you're not really used to this technology. So you can start here, and as you can see, it's gonna take you through step-by-step process that you can get started with this technology. So it's a really simple and easy way to find more resources and to learn more about the voice technology and the Google Assistant and actions of Google. You can also find all the documentation, the official documentation about Dialogflow, going to developers.google.com/actions/Dialogflow, or you can find also samples about other actions. Okay, so this one. So here you can find some samples about other actions, or if you wanna execute the documentation, you can go directly to that documentation. Also, you can go to the GitHub code of actions on Google, so you can find more samples over there about actions on Google and some projects. So, for example, we can find it here, GitHub actions on Google. Here you can find the official samples of the Google Advocates. So you can see if you're running or if you're interested for actions on Google for Node.js or for Java or for Kotlin or for many other different languages, coding languages, programming languages. You can find here many different repositories. So it's a really good resources where you can find different projects that you can start using, and you can start getting more in touch about this new technology. Also, I highly encourage you to build your first action, because once you build your first action, you're gonna be automatically in the community program of actions on Google. So this is a program where they share with you some swag and some cloud credits once you build your first action. So it depends on your milestone. You can have more rewards depending on the traction that your action have. So I highly recommend you to publish your first action for the Google Assistant and get started to get some credit, some rewards from the program. And yeah, thank you all for having me on this session. I hope you have a good time. And also, if you have some questions, I think we're gonna have like a Q&A. So thank you, everybody, and you already have my contact. You can talk also with the GDG and Women Tech Maker leads if you wanna ask me more questions about my presentations. You have my slides, and yeah.
All right, Leandro.
Yeah.
We're so great for your presentation. Thanks for everything.
Thank you. So, does anybody have a question or something, or we're done?
Yeah, we will. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, and have a great day.
Okay. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Evet arkadaşlar, tam 5 saat 10 dakikadır yayındayız. Leandro'ya da tekrardan teşekkürler. Access on Google şu an gerçekten devamlı update gelen, devamlı içerik üretilen bir alan. Leandro da bu konuda bize katkı sağladığı için kendisine teşekkür ediyoruz. Şimdi birazdan Erol ve benim Firebase hakkında bir sunumumuz olacak. Onun öncesinde sizlerden bir 10 dakika ara rica ediyoruz. 10 dakika sonra tekrar birlikteyiz.